Hey, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 85th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything that's important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're talking all about our recent trip to Austin, Texas, baby. But before we dive deep into the subject, we have a couple of questions to ask you. Khalil, pick your chin up from the job. Yeah. Your chin up from the table. That's the phrase. There you go.
If you say so.
First, have you subscribed to WokeNFree on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, or any of the other platforms that we're on? If not, please go to WokeNFree.com and subscribe away. Next, have you shared an episode with friends and family? If you're like us and you haven't explored much of Texas, then this is a phenomenal episode to share and get everybody aware of what's going on in Austin, Texas these days. Next, have you hollered at us on social media? We'd love to hear from you if you have breaking news, if you have episode ideas, if you want to talk about collaborations. You can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at WokeNFree. And then lastly, we'd love for you to review the show. Review the podcast on our Facebook page. You can also review the show on any of the platforms we're on, like iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or any of the other platforms. So again, you'll get all of that information where? At WokeNFree.com.
Each week we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last week we shared, would you rather be stuck in an elevator or on a ski lift? This week we're sharing, which is the superior gluten-free breakfast carb, pancakes or waffles?
I guess I would say based on the gluten-free carbs that we've had, if they could be considered carbs, I'm not quite sure.
Definitely.
Okay. So I would say probably waffles because they have found the formula, I think, that makes them taste more like waffles. I think the kick with gluten-free is that you don't want it so corn tasting, and because a lot of the times it is corn-based or some other type of vegetable or something that they've used to replace the
rice
wheat
too.
or rice, yeah. So just making sure that the consistency is somewhat similar. So for me, it's waffles. How about you?
I gotta agree with the waffles, but only because the waffles have the pockets and you can put butter in those pockets and make it real savory.
Nice, keeping it nice and healthy. Yeah,
it's a good trick to making it more flavorful. Pancakes, the butter rolls off.
Y'all know what kind of household this is.
You love that butter.
Butter. Listen, I just made grits. You know.
Oh, no.
You know what time it is.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's just jump into it then. Mm-hmm. On a scale of 0 to 10, how did you feel about Austin, Texas?
All right, y'all. So it is WokeNFree. So with that means we got to keep it 100 all day, every day. And for me, probably it would be a 4 out of 10 of what I saw of the city. Now, granted, we were only there for a couple of days. It was 4 to 5 days and we didn't get to see all of the city, but of what we saw, 4 out of 10 is how I would rank the city, despite the fact that it is ranked as one of the top cities to live in and work in. But how about you?
I would have to rate it 1 point higher than that. I give it a 5 out of 10. So it's a nearly passing score, but for me, it's not the city I would like to be in.
Not that New York is superior, but because I know people are like, oh, well, they're just New Yorkers. Nope. Because we are not fans of New York either.
No, I don't know if that's the reason.
New York gets about a 2 for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It is, just because of the level of discord amongst human beings here and the transportation issues and the expense. Like, I'm sorry, no. It is pretty.
See, Austin has that too. It has the transportation issue. It doesn't have like a system like New York.
That's why
City.
Austin doesn't rank high for me.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
What did you like most about our trip then to Austin, Texas?
Well, yeah, I just compare it to stuff that I like. So what I like and what I find in a city is I like the weather is one of the first things I look at. And
yes.
The weather there, I actually like the heat there. We did have some rain as well, but
yes.
The heat, just getting the heat every day was nice because in New York, you can get a tiny bit of heat and get a lot of bit of cold. and it just changes during
a lot
the
of
day.
it cold. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, even in springtime, because I remember springs were warmer, but going to Austin, it was great. The temperature was like perfect.
It was very humid though.
Yeah, I mean, there was humidity, but I'm just talking about what I like,
Sure.
what I like. And then the next thing I liked was some of the wildlife, because those birds seemed very social, I would say.
They were.
They were very talkative, and
talking their lives
they
away.
sounded a lot different than birds that I'm used to. So I thought they were very funny. I even caught a picture of them, so I'll post that. They had, and you saw we saw those like those navy blue kind of birds all over.
Oh yeah, iridescent type of color.
Yeah,
It
like
was
that.
gorgeous.
They were really they were neat looking. So I thought that was really cool about Austin, the birds and the bees. No bees, I didn't see. But I think you might have saw a bee.
Yes, I wherever there are insects, I am known to find them. There is a sad affinity between me and bugs.
Yeah.
But interesting. So you essentially compared Austin to just like the Amazon. So you just are looking for wild ass animals and rabid ass heat. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
You could say that, maybe.
Oh, I don't know if you're joking or if you've been smoking.
No, you cannot say that for this. Because you know that heat was definitely good. It was good to get a break from the cold.
Ugh, indeed. Yes, I was disgusted getting back to New York. Except it was actually warm the day we came back, and then it proceeded to be
it turned frigid.
Cold.
Yeah, it's like off and on.
You know how New York do. You know.
It's hot and then it's cold. It's
it's bipolar.
And it's no.
Yes. Oh, it's a Katy Perry
in and
song. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's out and it's in.
Maybe she wrote it while she was in New York.
Probably, yeah. I don't think LA is like that, so probably
definitely not. Oh, no. But for me, I would say what I really liked most about our trip was this cool mall called The Domain, which is actually more than a mall. It's more like a little world within the Austin world.
Like its own city, basically.
Yes, you can eat, you can shop, you can live there. Yes, y'all, you can live there. You can go to the gym, you can get your hair cut. You probably can get your nails did.
You can get your Whole Foods.
Yeah, you can get your Whole Foods game on. You can see a luxury movie at iEpic or Epic, however you say that. iPic, yeah. You can everything. It was everything and more.
And they have residences there too.
Yes,
yeah.
you could live there. I've never seen something like that. I mean, I never thought, oh, go to the mall. Oh, what if we lived at the mall?
And they have like office spaces there too.
Yep, there was businesses. You could
office space. Yeah,
it was everything, y'all. So check out The Domain because if you're there, you will happily, I think, fall in love with it. So that was like number one, shared with the spot of course, what brought us there, which I was asked for my business, Dress and Roommate, to be a speaker for Physicians Helping Physicians. So of course that shares the number one spot of being there, which was being able to speak at a new conference and visit a whole new city that we've never been to. So, you know, if you're interested in seeing some of the pics, you can see our pics that we posted on our WokeNFree Instagram account. And I'll make sure we have that in the link so that you can get that in the episode, guys.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta post some of my pics to
my
account too.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
The anticipation awaits.
Go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what did not you like about Austin?
Could you maybe say that in English?
What did not you like about Austin?
What didn't you like about Austin?
Did not.
Oh, Lord.
You're doing the contraction. I'm doing the non-contraction.
The contraction sounds better. So for me, dear, I'm not joking, nor have I been smoking. The answer is...
Yes, you are, because what did you not like about...
The answer is... Homelessness was on fire. It was out of control, guys. It was like everywhere except The Domain, because y'all know how rich people do. Just saying. But the homelessness everywhere was out of control. It felt like every street corner we went, there was somebody asking for food, water, money, or anything in between. And it really saddens me because as New Yorkers, we have our fair share of homelessness, and I wouldn't necessarily expect to go to a brand new spanking city that we've never been to and be confronted with severe homelessness, and especially amongst people of color. It just was broken down sadness, seeing people strung out on the street. Crazy. So that was my biggest dislike with the city. How about you?
Well, just to build upon that, I just thought it was strange how there was like a whole bunch of them in tents like lined up down different blocks. That's what kind of like stood out, like seeing them in tents in so many blocks like bundled together. I usually don't see that. Like you'll see pockets of that, but you don't see like blocks of that. But I saw that. That's what we experienced in Austin. And now for me, the specific thing I didn't think you liked it either, was that most of the buildings seemed like they had these humidity issues, because even the airport, if you're in the airport and none of the stores are open, you could smell like this kind of musty
like mold,
air
really
smell. Yeah,
nasty.
it smells kind of like it could be mold, and it's very musty and muggy. It doesn't smell good, and that was in the airport. But even in other restaurants, you could smell that as well.
Definitely.
Where it was just, I don't know, maybe the buildings are absorbing the moisture. They're not porous, or they're too porous, and it's not used to like heavy rains and stuff or something. I don't know. It's the material that they're using, but either way, the buildings definitely smelled like they're sucking up a lot of water and not getting rid of it. It's not evaporating fast enough. It's just staying in there, and it's really doesn't feel great when you're indoors.
Absolutely. And our Uber driver told us that apparently they had a very wet spring, so maybe we were like smelling the effects of that, but maybe really as a city they need to think about that, because your buildings and your, just from a tourism perspective, you don't want people coming being like, ooh, good lord. And that's really kind of some of the sounds that at least I was making. You don't say that, but I was just like, oh no, this is ridiculous. Not to mention the amount of construction taking place at the airport. Get it together, Austin, get it together.
That happens.
Get it together.
Would you visit Austin again?
So for work, absolutely, right? Your girl loves to, handle my business, and I love to make money, and I love business opportunities, networking, absolutely. So if I was asked to be a speaker, if I was asked to collaborate, if I was asked to work on something for business, for sure, absolutely. For personal reasons, probably not until they work on that airport and get it together. And I'm talking specifically the repairs and that water smelling thing that you were talking about. And then also the homelessness, because like I said, for me personally, as someone who has dealt with poverty and issues like that in my past, it's hard for me to see that. It emotionally wrecks me. And also just makes me really concerned about kind of what's going on in this country. And I know homelessness is a world issue.
Yeah, it's in every major city, actually.
But I can only handle, this country that I live in as of right now. And I just think that the city needs to do something about it, because it's also just like a safety issue, because it makes you not want to go out and stuff. If you know that if you're going to go out clubbing and you can be confounded by homelessness, then like maybe you're not going to do that, right? So I don't know. I would definitely come back for business. Personally, probably not unless some things change. How about you?
The only reason I would come back is for my loving wife.
So
if you traveled here and you needed me to rescue you, I'd come for you.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Superman.
I'd rescue you from your situation.
Phenomenal.
In the blink of an eye.
So instead of Khalil, I should call you Kal-El? Superman joke, guys. Superman joke.
Or you could just put up the bat signal and I'll be there as well.
So you're more of a Bruce Wayne kind of person. Okay.
Just let me know where you're at.
Very nice. I'm more of a Kal-El.
I'm not saying I'm more of. I'm just saying I can be contacted multiple ways. I'm better than either.
Okay.
I'm better.
Oh, Black Panther, yes. Wakanda forever.
Yeah, I just travel in my super technology and get there really quickly.
And you never freeze.
Yeah, of course not. Why would I?
Phenomenal. I love it.
You are now listening to WokeNFree.
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 A podcast about being real and honest.
What did you learn, from visiting Austin, Texas? What was the best lesson learned?
I don't know if it's a lesson learned, but it was kind of a duality that I learned of seeing that apparently, like you were saying, they're the fastest growing city, but on the other hand, they also have a large visible homeless population. So I thought that was kind of the thing that I learned from visiting
22.
Austin, where you can have you can
Tremendous
have this
growth,
you can have a great city and it's growing and you're saying all these good stuff about it, but then you're ignoring the other people there, a large growing population of people that are underprivileged at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was just interesting seeing that, like, really in your face. But it was interesting because the guy that drove us to the airport
The Uber
actually
driver,
told us that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of, according to him, a lot of these homeless people actually just don't want to work.
That's my choice, according to the Uber
according to him.
driver.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't
Research on
research
that,
this
yeah.
particular topic. That's the case. That's gonna be tough.
It's conjecture
though.
at this point.
Guess
yeah.
that's hard to
You
research
have to
though,
interview
without
them.
us
Yeah, you have
actually
to
going
actually
and
go
interviewing,
in
because
and
we could
speak
look
with them,
at
yeah.
what news reporters say, but maybe they didn't interview enough of them.
Yeah.
Maybe they interviewed them 2 years ago and say that
We don't know
it's
the
little,
current
it's
day
too up.
situation,
It's hard to
yeah.
really say, but that was my biggest lesson, I think, or takeaway from visiting Austin.
Okay, very, very good point. For me, I would say, what I really enjoyed or learned most from the trip was the fact that as adults, sometimes we forget how important it is to have firsts in our life, right? Like, so many of us remember our first time we walked, or first time we rode a bike, or first time we ate ice cream, and then sometimes something happens in your life and you don't necessarily focus on the first anymore. And I think that that's a mistake. I think that what adds the variety and the joy and the fantasticness that life is trying to achieve as many firsts as possible. So for me, I learned from the trip that it was really cool that we purposely went out and did activities like mini golfing, like visiting a whole new state, and we had several firsts on the trip, and it just it kind of rejuvenated me in the sense that, like, hey, like, we can have as many firsts as we want. It's just up to us to make sure that we go out and get them, and then we can share this with, like, the WokeNFree Nation. So for me, visiting Texas for the first time will always be memorable. Doing it with the love of my life, always memorable. And just like, hey, Austin, like, good job. We had fun. I definitely think there are things that need to be worked on in the city, at least of what we saw. But I appreciated the firsts that we had, and I can't wait for many, many more firsts in our lives as a couple, as people. Just first. I love them.
First time in a Challenger. Yep.
Hey, true that. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you got pictures to share, man.
Yeah, I got a couple. Yeah, I'll do that. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Monica is an avid storm chaser who is really looking forward to seeing a tornado. Should she stop in Austin to get her fix?
Oh, interesting. So when we were there, guys, we had a tornado watch on one of the weekend days, and I believe it was the Saturday. And
Definitely.
and that was really interesting. Not to mention the torrential rain. It was like hurricane season or something. It was crazy.
Were we actually in a tornado?
Exactly. A tornado of love, I think.
No, were we like floating up and looking at each other in each other's eyes really dearly?
Yep, just like in Twister. Yep. Mm-hmm. Excelente, sure. We were not visiting Kansas.
Okay.
But so if she's an avid storm chaser and wants to see a tornado, that's a really interesting question. I'm not quite sure if chasing tornadoes is a very healthy habit and or healthy activity. I would prescribe that maybe she speak with professionals who could give her just a clarity as to, like, how likely she's putting herself in harm's danger, so that she has an understanding, and whatever the risk may be, if she's willing to consent with those risks and take a chance, as you always should in life, and that's what she wants, then sure, have at it. But personally, wow, I don't necessarily recommending chasing tornadoes. I think just watching the movie Twister, or that new movie that came out about tornadoes, is totally sufficient for me. But what's your thoughts?
I think she might just want to skip Austin because it's hardly likely that she'll see a good tornado there. She's not going to get anything big. So if she wants to see one, maybe go to northern Texas. That might be a better idea. She's already an avid storm chaser, so she knows all the risks. She doesn't need to even ask anybody about that. Okay. Because she's way into it. Like, that's what she does. You're not convincing her.
She's just about that
either
life.
way.
Okay.
This is what she does for fun. She has all the camera and and photography
And
equipment.
the floating
she needs.
things that you throw in them, right? Yeah.
The fake things from the movie, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
She has the fake balls that you throw into the wind, all that great stuff. But that's the thing. You can't stop an avid storm chaser. That's their hobby and dream.
I don't want
Would
to
you try to
stop
take away somebody's hobby
dream. Yeah.
just because it has risk? I mean, come on.
No, that's why I said as long as you're willing to take the risk and you consent to the risk, then have at it. Just make sure your affairs are in order. That's all I suggest.
So make sure you don't have a will.
Make sure you do.
Oh, all right.
And whatever else you need to financially take care of your estate.
Maybe, all right. That's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 2. Errol is visiting Austin for a week with a couple of his friends. They arrived only yesterday and still have jet lag, but Errol loves a good party and wants to go out. The friends decline to go, even though Errol has just found the latest hotspots in downtown Austin. Should Errol ditch his lame friends and rock out with his dock out?
His dock out. Like, you mean something else, Khalil. This tickled you a bit too much.
Stop. Why did you say that? Why am I tickled? I'm not tickled
First of
by
all,
the
because
scenario.
his name is Errol. Secondly, he has something called a dock that he wants to rock out with.
Yeah. People have boats in their docks.
Ah, that's what he was referring. That's what
Maybe. I guess I don't know how he got this boat into Austin, but I believe they do have some rivers that he could put his boat in.
Indeed they do. That's an interesting question. So again, for me, I think the biggest thing that's ringing home is the risk, right? What is the risk of going to this city without anyone else with you to ensure your safety and or just accountability of where you're at in the world? Should you go alone and just have fun if your friends don't want to go with you? I mean, you can. Again, is Errol willing to take the risk of going out without anyone in this city that he may or may not have great comfortability in? And, will people know his whereabouts? I wouldn't recommend it, but that's because I'm not like a party crazed person, and I definitely don't have a dock to rock out with right now. So I'm good there, but what are your thoughts?
I think that he could, since he likes the party, he should do it, but maybe he should dial it down a little bit. Just don't go to 100 when you're in a new city, because you don't know what can happen. So dial it back, do your research, and also, like you were saying, let your friends know where you're going to be at, just in case they don't hear back from you. And give them maybe a time. Be like, if you don't hear from me by 3 a.m., then try to find out what happened to me. Sure. Or even you could send your location too. You could share your location with them.
Maybe share your
do
location
that as well.
So the night, yeah.
Make sure you have your battery charger with you, your portable to go. Make sure you have a phone charger so you're always ready. And then I think, it won't be too bad because he's not in like a third world country. It shouldn't. And this is not
to
like
say that you can't party in third world countries.
You can, but there was an incident that happened, but we won't even go into that one. But the whole thing is, you just gotta be aware of your situation and don't go too crazy, especially when you don't have anybody there that watching your back.
True that.
But I don't think he should. I don't think he doesn't have to go out though because of that.
No, I think just making sure that he's just like totally not like oblivious to the idea that danger exists in this world. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. Don't stick your head in the sand. Just really think about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Try to make some good choices, even if they're all not the best.
Indeed.
Scenario 3. Deirdre is a music buff that deeply loves country. She's interested in living near Life Night that has a buzzing country scene. Do you think Austin is for her?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I think they do have a really cool music scene. I know they definitely have a cool food scene. But I guess I would have to do more research to find if that's the best city for the country vibes that she's looking for. I think it would probably be a good choice. I don't know if it's the best choice, but definitely I think it's a consideration for sure.
Do you remember where the Southwest by Southwest thing was or no?
Oh, didn't it take place in Austin? It might have taken place in Austin.
So at least they had like a music thing.
Yeah,
there,
they did. No, Austin has a great music culture, and
that.
they definitely have a bunch of people that I think come on like music shows and like are like repping Austin. So no, Austin has a great music culture. I just don't know if it's the best for country. It may be, but like I don't want to like offend any music or country heads out there who are like,
there might be better. There may
like,
be better.
You know, who could tell you like 10 other cities that are the best for it. But I definitely think it's a consideration. If again, the city has multiple things that satisfy her, so it's not just one thing, but it's multiple things.
I just know that when we were there, they actually had people performing country and country nights and all these little things going on downtown.
It was cool, yeah.
They definitely have some sort of country scene. I don't know how big it is, but it's definitely there. So
absolutely,
I don't think she'd be disappointed with at least like stopping by. So
definitely check it out, visit it.
She could actually do that. That's one thing. Maybe not move there yet. Just visit first and see how she likes it. If
absolutely,
she can.
Take a nice trip out with friends and check it out and do your due diligence. That's how you're able to make good decisions in this world. As long as you put in the effort and you're willing to take the risk, and you do, you'll see what happens and enjoy it. Hopefully she has a new country name other than Deirdre. Is that what you said?
That may be what it is. That's basically all I could say on that.
Phenomenal.
It's true. You may be more correct than I was.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a really oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hey, this woman can call us and tell us how to pronounce her name properly.
You're a hot mess.
She can leave that voice message, right?
True. On our contact us page.
Tell us
if you
how to
ever
say
want to
it.
leave us a voicemail and or possibly even have your message in our episode, leave us a voicemail. Go to our contact us page at WokeNFree.com.
Yeah, then you can tell us how Miss Lady's name is said.
And or ask any other relevant questions that you want us to address.
To say that's not relevant is just obnoxious.
Well, I try my hardest. But we are at that time again. It is coming of the end of our 85th episode of Woke and Free. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You put a twang on it? Wow.
You don't even know what a twang sounds like.
How could you say that? How could you say that to me?
Queens, New York, fool. Yes.
That may be the case, but I'm also cultured.
Only non-cultured people go around telling people just how cultured they are. It's the same way why classy people never say, "Oh, this is classy." See?
Okay, then I am not saying if or not I am cultured.
Oh,
I'm saying neither way.
Now we're back to logic. Phenomenal.
Now we know then.
Oh, good Lord. This was quite the episode discussing what we thought about our recent trip to Austin, Texas. Now, will I leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our next episode, we will be discussing whether there is an afterlife. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woke and Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you want to be a guest on the show, submit a topic for an upcoming episode, or share how you feel on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. We're super active on social media. You can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Woke and Free. And then if you are interested in sponsoring an upcoming episode or discussing a sponsorship deal, feel free to contact us on our Contact Us page, again, at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do, share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Till next time.